So there's a season that nobody talks about. It's slow. It's not exciting. It's not dramatic. It doesn't look good on social media. But going through my notes, I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? This is a conversation we need to have. So, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Priestess Zokai, the modern day priestess. And if you are not new here, welcome back, girl. Okay. I have my notes because y'all know perimenopausal brain is taking over. Get yours because there's some points in here we want to remember. All right. Okay, let's get started. I wrote, it's the season where nothing is happening, but everything is changing. And this season is called the in-between season. It happens when you go through a major life transition. You're no longer where you used to be, but you're definitely not where you want to be. And this season is not a pause, but what I've come to learn about this season, going through it a couple times myself, is that it's really a position. And this season feels quiet, foggy, or boring because a few things are happening and they happen quietly, they happen underneath the surface. It's a space where we don't really want to talk about it. I know I didn't want to talk about it when I was going through it. First of all, I didn't even understand what it was or what was happening. Sorry, I had a little piece of buzz or something. Okay, so let's get into what this season actually is. Your old identity is dissolving. So that version of yourself that got you here is quietly falling away. And for some of us, that's like a good damn riddance. Okay. We don't want to be that version of ourselves anymore, especially if you had gone through a breakup or a divorce. That person that I'm sure that relationship created, you don't want to be here no more. I know I didn't, right? And then, but there's that emptiness you feel, and that's actually a sacred space that's being created. So if you start to feel like that, I don't want you to think that something's wrong or maybe you should have tried harder or you need to be that person times 20, right? Your new identity is not yet embodied. That's what's really going on in the in between space. Like you can sense who you're becoming, you have an idea, you probably see her, but you haven't learned how to live as that person yet. And so that gap can feel very disorienting. It almost feels like sometimes you're being fraudulent, like you're being a fake or a phony, but you are really cultivating this person that you're becoming. Your nervous system is recalibrating. So your body is learning new baselines, what it really feels like to be safe for real, what capacity feels like. And all of these things require stillness, not stimulation. Being overstimulated can get us into a lot of situations, problems, storylines that we don't really want to be in. You don't want to be the main character in a storyline where you're overstimulated. I promise. What else is happening is your subconscious is reorganizing. So, beneath your conscious awareness, your mind is rewiring beliefs, rewiring patterns and stories that no longer serve us anymore. And they don't serve us anymore because the future that we are planning, that version, it doesn't fit. Nothing about that version of who we was would look right, feel right, act right, do right in the new future that we're now writing. So your external world gets slower. The universe is not ignoring you. That's not what's happening, but it's giving you the gift of being able to go slow and have some low stakes so you can integrate without any pressure. We don't need any more pressure during this time. Like we just came out of a space where there was so much pressure. If you are going from one religion to a spiritual awakening. There's plenty of pressure over on that side. So when you come over into something new, you don't need that. So this is the season where your system is learning how to hold a different version of you and learning how to hold you, how to have that container, that containment. That's very important. Structure is what it's giving, right? So it feels weird because there's no urgency, there's no chaos going on, there's no adrenaline, no crises to take care of, no dopamine, right? And that makes people panic. Let's be honest. Have you ever been in a relationship where it was so drama filled, it was so chaotic, everybody was toxic, all the words or whatever. And then you get into this new relationship and none of that foolishness is going on. And you're like, what's happening? What's wrong? What is he hiding? What's da 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 da? Because you're not even used to being in a situation where none of that foolishness is going on. You think something's wrong and you start to panic. But without a familiar rush of drama or deadline, your system don't know how to measure progress because it's gotten used to a certain state in a certain place where it was always something, always something. So it can mistake calm for failure. You mistake peace for stagnation because your nervous system is addicted to intensity. Let me say that again. You mistake peace for stagnation because your nervous system is addicted to identity. Now, the dangers of trying to force momentum, because there is a point where that can be very dangerous for us, especially when we're in our in between season, because most people try to recreate movement. And when you do that, you start inventing problems to solve where there is no problem. You trying to just create new goals to chase. You just want to feel like you're doing something. You chase opportunities that you probably don't even really need to chase. If you just wait and allow yourself to become, the opportunity will come to you. You don't have to chase it. So you say yes to stuff that's not even aligned because you want to feel like you're in motion. You mistake activity for advancement. You got to be clear about that. You start new things prematurely. You're going to have that launch before you're ready, before the thing is ready. Build them before you're really clear about what it is that you want to build and how it needs to work in the infrastructure. You commit them before you get grounded, and then you wonder why it all feels shaky or why it falls through, why it doesn't happen, why it doesn't come fully into fruition. You're manufacturing urgency. You create artificial deadlines, girl, just so you can give yourself a sense of panic. It sounds crazy and probably even laughable, but these are the things that we do. Pressure condition you to believe that if it's not urgent, it's not important. You're making impulsive decisions. This one is the one that used to get me in trouble all the time. Just making decisions because I'm under duress or, just being impulsive. You pivot, you quit, you restart, all out of panic and not from clarity and assurance, and stability. Just leaving a trail of half lived timelines behind you. I have several of those. So I'm with you. I get it. I understand. I've gone through this season. I understand this season. I built a whole system around this season. And it's because we don't trust the seasons that aren't loud. And that may not necessarily be our fault. We you know, have never been taught that everything don't have to feel urgent. It doesn't make it important. So I wrote That is like pulling a plant out of the soil every day to check if it's growing. When you plant something, you're putting it inside of the soil, inside of the pot or the ground. And we can't see what's happening underneath, right? Our little seed is under here doing its thing, germinating, percolating, whatever. But all we see is nothing. So we plucking the thing up. Just, oh, is it some roots yet? Did it grow yet? Is something happening yet? That's what we're doing with with our lives and our timelines. Forcing momentum too early. It don't create success, but it creates fragile timelines. Think about it. Those relationships that started too soon, businesses launched too early, identity shifts without integration, visibility before regulation. All very fragile because we want something to be happening. So now let's talk about how preparation creates elegance and not urgency. Urgency feels like rush, reactive, nervous system driven, chaotic energy, proving energy. We want to prove something. But elegance is calm, contained, embodied, resource, inevitable energy. Preparation doesn't make you faster, but it makes you unshakable. Urgency is going to chase, where elegance is going to position. Now, the real work of the in between is this is a season for a few things. One, your nervous system stabilization. So, this is where your body is going to learn that safety does not always require chaos and that peace is not the same as boredom. We think we bored because we in a state of peace. We're not used to being peaceful. And we'll say, I choose peace over everything. But then when we choose peace over everything and we just sitting there peaceful, now we like, oh, I'm bored. No, this is the peace that you chose, that you asked for, right? Identity consolidation. So this means we're going to integrate all of those pieces of ourselves, of who we've been, who we're becoming, into one coherent person, one version that's regulated of yourself. Subconscious reprogramming. This is very important. This is where those old beliefs about worthiness, timing, deserving are being quietly overwritten without you even noticing. We know that our subconscious is the background program that's really running the show. Everything that's happening visibly in our lives is because of that subconscious programming that's happening. So when we're in the in between, we're giving, we're allowing the time and the space for that subconscious to reprogram and to overwrite. We don't even have to notice it. We just got to simply be. How good is that? How delicious is it to just be and not have to be doing? Now, this is the season for your energetic hygiene, where you're going to be taking note of and learning what drains you, what pulls on you, what sustains you, how to protect your energy, what those resources actually look and feel like. This is also the season for capacity building. This is one we don't talk about a lot, so let's highlight it. This is where you're expanding your ability to hold more success, more love, more visibility, all without collapsing or self sabotaging. Without self sabotaging. Nothing is happening on the outside because everything is being restructured on the inside. And if you rush this season, you're not going to skip it. Guess what? You're going to have to repeat it again and again and again, but with more consequences. So go through this season the right way and honor it and love on it. I'm in my in between season. We always want to get straight to the glow up and the soft girl era, but we skip that space in between that gets us there. So I'm knocking over stuff. Don't pay that no mind. So if you are in your quiet season right now, take notes of the things that we mentioned that we don't want to highlight and the things that we want to make sure that we are doing in this season because it's not a pause. Remember, it's a positioning. We're getting positioned to become that version of ourselves that we really want to be because we're creating a new life, a new timeline, a new career, a new relationship. And that requires a season of being still and preparing. If you are in this season, I want to invite you to become strategic instead of stressful in this season. And I'm having an event online in the school platform called the Preparation Room, 7 days of preparing your system to become stabilized, preparing yourself for your reentry into the world as a strong, cohesive, visible, ready, not premature version of yourself. The details will be in the description. If you have not liked the video yet, please go ahead and like it, subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know in the comments if you're in this season because y'all know I'm nosy. I want to know if this is your season that you're in. Girl, just do all the things, okay? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.